Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to talk about college, specifically four-year universities here in the US, as well as whether or not I believe them to be worth it. And when I say that, I mean financially primarily. So I think most people know, especially in the 21st century, especially nowadays, 2022, college tuition fees are astronomically high. Uh, just in general, they're tuitions that I would say the average American family, the average American household, can't really burden. And I think that's been pretty well known for the past decade or so, maybe even 2 decades. Some people might argue on that, but I think it's important we should consider how the role of a college degree, the role it plays in job security, in status, etc., how it has changed over time, as well as that tuition, the amount in which you pay for your education, how that has changed over time. So I think it's important to look back at previous generations, maybe 50 years ago, maybe even more. So back then, generally, a college degree was rarer than it is nowadays. And simultaneously, tuitions weren't as expensive as they are today. Now, that's in general, of course. Obviously, you can get into the nitty gritty of it and look at different universities, what they ask for, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's just important to recognize that over time, it's kind of backwards, in my opinion, from a logical standpoint, not necessarily from a financial or economic standpoint. Because in that sense, you could argue, oh, why has college gotten more expensive? Why are people willing to take out these massive student loans just to pay for their education? But we're not going to talk about that too much. What I'm saying is, back in the day, a college degree was very valuable. It could open a lot of doors for you. It's basically a symbol of your education, of your qualifications, of your aptitude as a potential asset to a company, a corporation, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different things it could do for you. Nowadays, I would say there's an abundance of college degrees in the market, and it's like you get people my age, a little older than me. I'm 22. You enter the job market, and it's like, okay, let's find a job. I have these credentials. I went to this university, yada yada yada, and boom, here you are. Oh, maybe you're working at Whole Foods. Maybe you're doing retail. Not a knock on those career paths, but that's generally not what people sign up for when they elect to attend a university. Maybe they're looking for something higher salary, etc. Different realm of profession. So why do we think that is? Personally, I think that is just because, like I just said, there's an overabundance of college degrees. Like, it doesn't mean as much as it used to. I mean, sure, you went to University X, but we got other people who went to University X. We have people who went to A, B, C, Y, Z, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't stand out that much anymore. And furthermore, it's crazy to think about because we're also paying like ridiculous fees to get educated. And of course, when I said I'm literally fresh out of college. I graduated last year in 2021. I can speak from experience. I'm not going to say my own experience. I can speak from anecdote, things I've seen in other people I like, people I dislike, everything in between. Some people, don't get me wrong, they go ham in college. They get as much as they can out of it, academically speaking. That is to say, they're studying day and night, putting the work in, reading ahead, taking advantage of resources, meeting with professors, etc. They're furthering their education. And you know what? I'm all for that. I'm not going to kill myself in the classroom. Like, I like to balance work and play, but I have a lot of respect for these people because they're actually taking advantage of these institutions and what they're designed for. That is education. Simultaneously, you have plenty of people who get into great schools and I would say they don't even deserve it. I mean, we've seen scandals in the past, stuff like that. I won't talk about it too much, but yeah, we have people, you go to college and Maybe they cheat a lot. Maybe they never even go to classes. Maybe they don't take anything seriously. And simultaneously, these same people can get a degree, that same degree, as those kids that were grinding and going ham. And yet, I mean, sure, you can look at your GPA, other internships, et cetera, stuff that you, like work you put in outside the classroom. And yes, that can differentiate you. But at the end of the day, like the diploma, it's really just a symbol. Like, well, and we need to think about what does it represent? It means you graduated. Were you a stellar student? Maybe, maybe not. Did you work hard? Maybe, maybe not. And this is the scary question that I have to ask myself sometimes. The diploma. Did you even learn anything? Like, did you learn anything? Or were you just on autopilot, breezing through, partying, all this? And I'm not knocking that lifestyle, but I'm just saying, like what's the point in even going to college if that's what you want to do? Don't get me wrong, like, I like that stuff too, but it just begs the question, I think. Yeah, so that being said, I think I can touch on my background a little bit. I would say I grew up from a fairly privileged background. I attended private school in middle school and high school, and it was a college preparatory environment. Both of my parents attended college. Both of them got their master's degrees. So that's like immediately what was expected of me. It's like you're in the system and you have to follow the steps. Steps 1, 2, and 3, and that equals success. Whatever that means. Maybe it means financial success. Maybe it means happiness. Different people define success in different ways. But yeah, that's what was expected of me. I mean, I look at my peers. I look at what my teachers expect of me. I look at what the institution expects of me, what my parents expect of me. And that's the road that was paved for me. Of course, I followed it. Like I said, I just graduated last year. But I think that's kind of crazy. Because the truth is, I mean, again, thank goodness, thanks to the responsible financial decisions of my parents, we had no issues paying for my education. And I'm not going to take credit for that. That was them saving up money before I was even born. That was them making conservative financial decisions. So all the power to them, all the credit to them on that. But the truth is, many Americans, many working class people, they don't have the same luxury. It's like, oh, this tuition is $20,000 a year. Maybe it's $10,000, $5,000. For some people, it might be $50,000. It's like, yeah, easy. We're just gonna pay that. Take your loans out, easy. No sweat. But that's not the truth. I mean, these massive loans can be very crippling on people. And I mean, it's the truth. I hate to say it, but like, it can cripple you for the rest of your life. You might never pay it off. I mean, obviously, different people have different situations, but I mean, you hear stories, you talk to people, you go on the internet. Oh, I'm 40 years old, I'm 50 years old, I'm still paying off my student loans, and it's like, oh my goodness, that is insane. That is, I mean, I feel for these people. I do and I don't. Of course, I feel for you. Like, wow, there seems to be something wrong with the system if that's happening. But simultaneously, it was consensual, right? Like, you agreed to it. You signed up for it. You knew what you were getting into. You knew what you were getting into. Maybe you didn't know to what degree, but I mean, you're a young adult. You're a young adult, albeit, so maybe not the best informed. Hopefully you have resources, whether they be a mentor or your parents looking over your shoulder and guiding you through those financial decisions early in your adult life. But not everyone has that. So maybe you didn't know. Like, dang, I'm gonna be paying this off 10 years from now, 20 years from now. To me, that's terrifying. And I guess the point I'm trying to say is, I think we need a cultural shift where people realize that college is not for everyone. That's just the truth. It's not for everyone. Just because you go to college, that doesn't make you better than anyone else. That doesn't make you smarter just because you went to college. What I was saying before, it doesn't even necessarily make you more educated. You can educate yourself on your own time for significantly less money. And let me, disclaimer, no one is paying me to say this. I'm speaking candidly. I'm speaking from the heart. This is just my observation. I'm just keeping it 100. Like, so that being said, college is not for everyone. The truth is, maybe you should go learn a trade. Maybe you should start small. Maybe you should start a business. You have to make mistakes. You can't just always follow the path that was laid out and expected for you to follow by your parents and society. And of course, that probably sounds rich, me saying it as someone who literally went to college, but it's just something I've learned, because to me, it's what I've seen with my own two eyes. It's sad how much of a trap it can be. You go to school, maybe you realize it isn't for you, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm already $10,000 in a hole. You leave, you don't even get your degree, and it's like, damn, I gotta pay this off now. I just want people to be more informed about it, and recognize that, hey, just because I don't go to college doesn't mean I can't be financially successful. If anything, you might be setting yourself back. That's basically the message I'm trying to convey. Simultaneously, like I was saying before, college is definitely a route for people in more specialized professions, I'd say. I have several friends who went into business, finance, law school, maybe pursuing careers in politics, obviously med school, things of that nature. If that's what you're aiming for, boom, college is certainly for you, I'd say. Because with a profession that's that specialized, yes, it's effectively it's necessary to get that college degree and more, of course. But bottom line, I think we as a society, we ought to shift the way we view college. And of course, there's a lot of factors that go into this, emotional, financial, educational, your traditions, cultural, what's expected of you from your parents, etc. So it's not that simple to just say, to just make the decision like that. But I think people need to realize, oh, just because I don't go, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, thanks for hearing me out.